So again, welcome.
Sorry,
Yes.
I just want to mention I can't see any chats, so I don't know why.
I saw the chats,
Yeah,
but maybe I should open it on my side.
yeah,
Okay,
so
I'll open
maybe
it on my
just
side.
look at it every now and then, because
Yes.
I don't, for some other reason I can't see chats.
Okay.
Cool.
All right. So at any stage, if you want to ask questions, just put it in the chat box. It's going to pop up on my left-hand side. I am ADHD, so when I see it, I'm going to stop my sentence and then I'm going to answer your question. I don't want to go to the end, but let's see. Keep it until the end if you can. Otherwise, if you want to ask something at that point, please feel free to ask a question and then I'll answer that. Okay, so let's talk about grade 4. Now, in the chat, if you can, just tell me if this is the first time that you have a child in grade 4, because it's a little bit different if you've already been through this, but we always have parents coming back because they say that I can always learn more. So in the chats while I'm talking, just tell me there in the chat if you are a first-time grade 4 parent, because we want to especially talk to you and tell you about all the pitfalls and things that you can look out. But everyone, eerste keer, okay. Only child, okay, thank you. Everyone feels exactly the same. I can tell you that, Marlies. We've been doing this now for 14 years, and every year we do this workshop at this time of the year, and everyone always feels exactly the same. But I want to really salute you for taking the time and registering and actually showing up. We a lot of time there was a lot of people registering for this one, but not all the people really go and make the effort because life happens. But for you guys that's here, we know that your children's future, and you want to help them and you want to assist them. And especially there's this assumption of when they go from grade 3 to grade 4, now all of a sudden they are big and they need to be independent. And on the one hand, it's definitely true. They must be. But there's a lot of skills and things they need to be able to do that independently. So I always tell parents, and this is not a finger pointing, this is just to make you aware of certain things, that if you've never helped them and showed them certain things, like for instance how to plan for a test or how to plan for doing a actual task, or what is a talk now in English? If they what is it? Yeah? Assignment, not an assignment, a talk. When they have to do that on their own, because we all know parents help. So we want them to really do it on their own. If you've never left them alone to do that step for step, and you showed them, they won't be able to do that. And I'm not going to talk about the learning. That's why I brought Marlies in, because we've seen this for many years. Over and over again, parents make the same mistake. And always remember, you don't know what you don't know. So again, it's not finger pointing, but I'm telling you today, you are going to be fine because you are here. And we really hope that you can take some of these things with you. Now, before I go on, this is going to, like, we're recording it, so we will also send you tomorrow. We will send you this recording out, also with some of the resources that we're supplying you with. And I'm going to show you some of the resources, so you don't have to worry about that. And then also, let me just see. Okay, no, that's all. So the resources in the recording will go out to you tomorrow. Okay. If you have not received it by 2 o'clock tomorrow, because I'm going to do it first thing tomorrow morning, please send us an email. My email is on the last page. I'll give it to you, because it has happened in previously that I send it out and we use a certain email server, and then parents don't get it. So please, it will go out tomorrow. So if you have not received it by 2 o'clock, please let me know. I don't want you to feel that now you're not getting the resources that we're helping you with. Okay. All right. So let's start. And I'm going to touch on these things. You will also receive, and let me show you one of the resources. It's going to blur now. But this is a little booklet. It's a parent guide. But there's also a children's guide. Okay, and I'll tell you how you're going to use this. So you can take notes here, but the slides I'm going to use tonight is also, some of them are in the booklet. The booklet is a little bit more complete, and I talk about a few other things in the booklet. And it's not going to take you hours to go through, so it's the really good information that you can need. Okay, so I talked about what is the main things that's a big change for me, a big challenge for them. And I think the first one, that's why I put it up there, is now all of a sudden they've got like 6 to 9 different teachers. Remember now, for 3 years they were sitting in one classroom with one teacher. They didn't move around. So all of a sudden now, a lot of different teachers. And the main point I want to make over here is that different teachers with different personalities. And this is an important point, because you need to already start talking to your children about personalities, because a lot of times we get students going to grade 4, and then there's clashes from the get-go between teachers and students, and we need to, and some teachers are more strict and some are not. Tell your children about these different types of personalities. So sometimes a teacher maybe will be more strict, and another one will be more laid back and things like that. And it's normal, and their personality is also different. So talk to them about different personalities, and that they don't, you know, feel unsure. That, because the point I want to make is that I want you to tell them to talk to you when they feel challenged, when there's something, a teacher is doing something, because you will have to jump in there. Because a big thing between, and this has been like that even when I was a teacher, there's a big gap between parents and teachers if there's not good communication. And there's not a teacher out there that is doing teacher just for a paycheck. They're doing it because they love children. So talk to them, make sure that you know in which way you can communicate with them. Because now, remember, it's not the same as in grade 1 to 3. You can just quickly give them a WhatsApp and disturb them with things. Now it's a different story. But make certain, so if they do the school meetings at the school with the new grade 4s, please go and find out how everything works at school. Okay. The second one is, remember, this is a biggie. A lot of different subjects. Okay, so on this point, I want to tell you, one of the resources that I'm going to send you is, there's actually 2. The one is, it's a PowerPoint. So you'll see it's a PowerPoint that I want you to download onto your computer. If you open the PowerPoint, the second page, you'll see on the right-hand side, at the bottom, there's a little speaker. I want you to press that speaker and you'll see it's going to play. So it's 3 minutes long. So one of our agents, that's the teacher, she explains to you on that PowerPoint all the different subjects that's in school, and she just give you some background with regards to the different subjects. And it's also good to let your child watch that recording maybe, or that resource, because so they can understand, you know, what are some of the different subjects that they are going to have. There's another one, her name is Lani Botma. She also talks, and you may think this is stupid, but it's something that they really struggle with. It's also, again, the same type of resource. If you play, there's a book, like a textbook, and she explains how does a textbook, everything that happens on a textbook, what's happening, where's the pages, what they have to look out for. So that's one of the resources that we're going to send you after this, this event. Okay. So very important that you look out for that. But remember, you need to download it and press play. Okay, so all the different subjects. And it's a lot. It's really a lot. That's why they feel so overwhelmed, because it's all these different changes, a lot of teachers and all this work now. Okay, but we can, with the right guidance, they will be fine. For the first time, they have to use a timetable. I just sat with grade 3 parents this afternoon, and the father was saying, I just know for the first week, my child will not end up in the class where she's supposed to be, because she's all over the place. So because now she doesn't, not even walking but time, she doesn't understand. She struggles with timetables. So timetables, where to go to, things like that. But most schools these days really prepare the grade 3s going to grade 4 that this is a timetable. Every period you go to a different teacher, things like that. But that's a big thing for them. Remember, they were sitting for 3 years with one teacher in one class. So rotating for the between the classes. One of the other resources I'm sending you is, oh, sorry, let me just see here. Oh, sorry, is a recording like this one, but I talk to your child. So it's me, and I did this more than a year ago. So it's the same, because it's the same things. So I speak to your child about the different changes. So on this topic, for instance, I tell them they need to go and find a grade 4 current student and ask them where is certain classes. So I give them a few pointers. So it's almost, I think it's a 35-minute presentation that I do, but I speak to them on their level. So this is some of the homework that I'm going to give you, but I'll talk to you about that. But the rotating of the classes is a biggie, because they are so scared that they are going to get lost, and some do and some don't. But it's a week, and then they are fine. Okay, homework. Homework is a big one, because they've got a lot of subjects every day, and they get a lot of homework. So the homework is really a big thing, and that's why helping them to plan and organize their homework and homework time and things like that is essential. And when I'm finished, because I only have 6 slides, I don't have so much to say. After I'm finished here, I'm going to quickly show you what I want you to do with regards to the planning of homework, okay, because that's essential. Sometimes they also struggle with writing down the homework on the board. So just make certain that when you go for that parents meeting, that you understand exactly how it works, so that you can help and assist your child. Okay, you need to help them, at least really take them by the hand for at least the first term. And remember, some children adjust like that. It's no issue for them, and some needs a little bit more guidance and time, and that's fine, because we are all different. A big thing here is, this is why I put this in. A lot of them, if they don't go to an aftercare or a place where they study, a homework center, they don't know what to do first. They don't know. Again, structuring exactly what they need to do. They need to understand, if I get home and I don't have anything on, what am I supposed to do first? Okay, because they really struggle to get the order going, and it's an easy fix. It's really an easy fix. So it sounds like a lot, but I promise you, if you put the structures in place, you will not struggle. Okay, and this is the one that you all said you are worried about, is that for the first time they will, sorry, I made a spelling mistake. They have to learn for tests and exams. Now, the next point, and Marlies is going to, I think she will second this one. And you need to, I've got 3 children, and 2 of them is already finished with school. And then I've got a little grade 4 one, boy. And one thing that I can tell you, and especially in our field, we've been doing this for 15 years. One thing that if you want to help your child, there's one thing I want you to never, ever, ever do. And that is buy a summary from somewhere. I'm not saying buy exam papers and text papers. I also bought a great, from Worksheet Cloud. I bought tests and exams, tests and memos from them, because that's the way I teach Elandra to practice for his tests and exams. But you cannot, if you want to ever help your child to be independent and work on their own, buy a summary. And Marlies is going to explain to you, because We get this so often. And I know we are all working moms and we don't have time, and we don't, maybe you don't even know how to help them to make a summary. But it's not about making the summary. There's a whole process before they even make the summary. But if they only learn from other people's summaries, they are parrots, and parrots can get away with this. So you will still be in grade 4 fine if they learn out of their heads from other people's summaries. I mean, I know. When my two big boys were in school, the parents were all making summaries for children, and they were swapping between each other. And I said nothing because I didn't want to interfere, but it's the worst thing that you can do for your child. And Marlies will definitely emphasize that, and I want you to please remember that. So buy exam papers, test papers, things like that, but a summary, don't do that. Okay, take it from an old mom. Okay, this one is also big. Some of the common learning challenges, and I know there's teachers in here as well, and this is a global thing all across the world, but reading comprehension. And this afternoon's chat that I had with that parents was so informative, because they were so, they want this child to read so fast. And I said, please, if they read fast, they can read fast. But if they don't even understand the words that they are reading, they will not be able to remember when they have to do recall and remember what to do. So when I talk about reading, and it's on my next slide as well, it's about reading, yes, but also understanding exactly what I'm reading and what that word is actually mean. Okay, but a lot of children struggle with reading comprehension. They struggle with reading, and then on top of that, they struggle with reading comprehension. Because remember, and the teachers will agree with me that's in here, the more stressed they become because of reading, then everything just shuts down. Okay, but you need to make certain when they do read and they do their work in certain subjects like social studies or things like that, is that they understand what they are reading. Okay, and I know at this stage you are feeling, oh my gosh, you're giving me a lot of work, and they're supposed to be going on their own. I know you feel like that, but this is a process. So you take your child by the hand, and I actually, I gave you some steps that you can do so that you don't feel that I'm telling you to do all of these things, because I know then you're not going to do any of that. And then this session is not going to be worth anything for you. And that's not what we want. Okay. Independent thinking. This is a big thing. We've got high school students in our centers that cannot make a decision, and they can't think, if you give them a problem, they can't think in their head, okay, but what are all the different solutions that there can be. So independent thinking, and because they will also be asked to read something. So let me give you an example. It covers both of them. So let's say we do a comprehension test, and the comprehension test will say the lion eats his food once a day. And then the question is going to be, the answer is not in the sentence. They're going to they're going to hide it a little bit. So they must be able to think, okay, once can be breakfast or dinner, so they will have to think outside of the box, and a lot of children struggle with that. Okay, maths.
Can I add in here? So,
yeah, please.
So I think what you want to say is your ADHD. So
I think I've twisted it around.
Yeah, the sentence you did, but doesn't matter. The sentence might be the lions are fed in the evenings.
Oh yeah.
And then the question might be, how many times a day are the lions fed?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Thank you.
Ander kant om.
It's my English, man. My English. And they struggle with that because a lot of comprehension tests was actually, in the olden days, a very easy way to get marks. But today it's not that simple anymore. Okay, maths, and let me see you guys that's on here. Is there any children in here, or parents there, children that struggle with reading or with maths? Can you put it in the chat box for us? Let me just quickly see. And the people that joined us last, welcome. There's a few people that came in. Is there any one of your children that struggle with reading or with mathematics? No. Claude? Awesome. Okay, reading. And remember, if I say struggle, it's just, it's not a negative. Okay, it's just both reading and maths. Okay. So a lot of times, and we don't want to go through the COVID thing, but it did play a role. Those things did play a role, and the students now are faced with those consequences. Okay, thank you for reading. And the why I'm asking this is that reading comes before learning, and that's why this is so important. Okay. And then I think this one is a big one. They've got shorter time to complete their tasks. So that's why I'm saying I want you to help them with planning. But I'm going to quickly go through what you can do with regards to that. Okay. So I'm just in, let me just move this a little bit. Okay. So the two things is reading. So if I talk about reading, so the first thing that you must make certain now is that if they read anything, and it's a simple thing, so this is not a big thing that you need to do. Just if they read to you, ask them, what did you just read? Or what's the story about? Ask them questions about what they have read, because they struggle to not just remember what was they read, but also what does it mean? Okay, so you'll see on the right hand side with the learning subjects, again, they must understand what they are reading. And Marlies will give you an examples, is that sometimes they think that because we teach them, you must put up your hand if you don't understand. And they don't want to, because they are feeling, they're either scared of the teachers sometimes, and we get that often, or they say, I don't want to think, my friends mustn't think I'm stupid, or I don't know. And then Marlies will do an exercise when we do our study methods course and tell them, okay, read this passage. Now mark the words that you did not understand. And then they do that. And then she says, okay, tell me the words. What did you not understand? And as they are reading the words that they didn't understand, they see, oh, all of the children, and 9 out of 10 times, Marlies, you will agree, they see, oh, they didn't understand the word. And then they don't feel bad about that. So they must understand what they are reading. They have to draw conclusions, write essays about what they read, and form ideas about what they read. So it's a lot of critical thinking that goes, it starts with reading, but it flows over to something else. Okay. And then learning subjects, like I said, again, they must understand. So they must make a mental picture. Summaries is important. That's why I brought Marlies in here. But there's a way in which you do this. And then learning of the work, because they all do the same thing, guys. They read and then they write over the whole book, but we'll get to that. Okay, and they all do that. All right, because they think learning is just reading through it all, through the work. And especially, I don't know who of you have boys, those are the ones that normally do this. Okay, so what can you do this year? Okay, because I've got a mom. If we do a course, she's always there. So her child is now in grade 3. She already did this course last year. So she's been bugging me now for weeks. She wants to do our study method course. And I told her, no, you can't give birth prematurely. You have to wait. There's certain things but there are certain things that you can do now. So this is what you can start doing now. Okay, so by the end of grade 3. So I would say more or less in the last term, okay? Because they're all, you'll see they are all flat. They're going to be tired in the 4th term, but they don't do so much. But I want you to watch the video that I'm sending to you with your child. So this is your homework. This is what I want you to do. Watch the video and then print out the resources. So print out the resources, especially the children's guide that I gave, I'm sending you. Read through it so that you know what stands in that, okay? Because what I want you to do with that and watching the video together is that we want to remember, we're all about teaching our children independence, but we can't do everything all at once, okay? And a big thing that you can do that's going to help them going forward is that you want to bring them into the decision making, because if they feel like they're also making a decision and they are telling you, I think we're going to do it like that, they made the decision, so they need to stick to that, right? So we're bringing in a little bit of life coaching here already in there. Teach them, make them part of the process. Don't just tell them what to do. Let them make a decision, okay? And guide them. Don't just give them the answer. Ask them, okay, if you think we're going to do this exercise like this, do you think that's the only way? Okay, and you will understand what I'm talking about if you watch my video. But that's what I want you to do. Print out the year calendar, the monthly planners, and also the daily and weekly planners. Print out all of those things, because if I talk about that, you can actually show them this is what we are going to do. Make them excited, because a lot of children are also taught, they are scared because of what other children are telling them. And if you are doing this beforehand and make them feel like that I'm part of this process, we have a plan, make them excited, because they don't have to feel scared, okay? And then something that's very important as we go, I didn't even watch when the school opens again, but get them into a routine, because I can tell you sleep is very important for them. And because if they don't sleep well, the next morning they don't function well, okay? So start getting them into a routine. That's something that really helps. And then start taking out the printed resources, laminate them maybe, because I want you to start put it up in the area where they're going to do their homework. Okay, so you can start doing that. And then very important, when they start, be hands-on with them. They are really overwhelmed. And so they're excited, they're overwhelmed, everything is just on their heads, or everything all at once. So help them to I want to interrupt myself. A lot of times when I do this, parents will say, you actually helped the whole household when we started to plan. So you will see it's going to take a lot of pressure off you as a mom. But I want you to check. Make certain that everyone is on par, especially if you've got other kids as well. But check every day what needs to be done. So when we do I'll show you now the planning. When you do that, make certain that they do what you want them to do, because you cannot just tell them to do it. And they can't, if they get it right one time, it doesn't mean that they are going to get it right all the time. It's a skill. You need to practice it with them. And the more you practice it, the more you can leave them then. And then I promise you, they will be independent learners, because that's what we want. It will become a habit. And then they will forever in their lives be like that. It will be second nature to them, okay? And then ask specific questions. So what I want you to do here is questions like, for instance, what did you learn that was exciting in natural science today, if you know that, like natural science? Okay, be very specific, not just, how was your day? Or like, what did you do? Nothing. That's what they always say. We didn't do anything. They don't do anything at school. So be specific. Ask them, do you have a new friend? Because that's also a thing that's in the guide. I didn't put it on the presentation. Is all of a sudden now there's other classes, other children. So did you make a new friend? or things like that. So be very specific with regards to what you're asking them, okay? And then start using the planners immediately, okay? So I want to quickly go out here. At least I'm almost done. I just want to, I was a teacher, guys, so I need to show. I can't talk if I don't show. Hold on 1 second here. So, okay, can you guys see this?
No.
Okay, hold on. I lost myself. Oh, here it is. Can you see it now?
Blanks. Oh, there it is.
Is it there?
Weekly
Okay.
planner.
Okay. So you guys are on our mailing list now. So the yearly planner for 2023, I haven't made that one yet. So as soon as we've made it by the end of the year, I will send that to you guys. But and I also want you to, if you go onto our Facebook page, you will see last week I did 3 videos, especially about how important it is to plan for a month, for a week, and then for a day. And I know at this stage, maybe you're also going to feel, but yeah, you want me to write all these things and do all this. I promise you, if they start getting this, it changes everything. As soon as a child sees what's happening on a piece of paper, it changes everything. I started using this, my planners, my monthly planners and my weekly planners. I didn't do daily with him because he was still in grade 3. But I taught him exactly about the planners already in the middle of last year. And when we went into grade 4, he totally, absolutely, he understood exactly how to, when he got a test dates and things like that, how to put it on the planner, how to put it, because I already did it in grade 3. So I'm giving you this because this is something that they really are able to do, but we want this to be visible. So I want you to print this out and laminate it so that you can use it all over again. With a monthly planner, you always, and we do this now more thoroughly in our study method course, but you put it on the wall and everything that needs to happen in that month, there's a certain way in which we want them to write this down. And if it's visual, they never forget. It's always up there, okay? This one weekly is where we teach them again to take the monthly task. Now we have to break it up in weekly tasks. So for instance, nowadays, and I feel so proud, and I mean, my son is ADHD as well, but this week on Monday, last week, he heard that he's writing Afrikaans tomorrow. On Monday already, he came to me and he said, okay, I've got homonyme, synonyme. He had 4 things that he had to learn for Afrikaans for Friday. And without me telling him, he took his planner and he wrote, on Tuesday, I'm going to do synonyms. On Wednesday, I'm going to do, and he planned it out because he knew that if he broke this up into doable, it wasn't that much. And it really helps him because it's a simple thing like planning a week. But you know what? And Marlies will tell you that we get students, big students, high school students that don't even know how to plan. So if you teach them this beforehand, this is not about school. This is about being a good employee sometimes, maybe sometimes, or maybe an employer. This is skills that you and I, in your job, I don't know what you guys are doing, but you're going to use this every day, and it's an important skill. But if we don't teach them to take a big task and break it up in doable things, they struggle and they feel overwhelmed. Okay, so this is one of the planners. So if you want to go watch the videos, you can just go to our Facebook page. And like I said, it was previous week, I did 3 of them. It's also going to be uploaded onto our YouTube channel next week. Okay, so this is the one planner. And then this one is our daily planner. And this is very important. And I said it on the YouTube video as well, and you need to go do this with your children. So you guys can see it, ne? Daily, weekly, at least you can see it.
Yeah, sorry.
See it? Okay. So why I did this in 15-minute slots. A lot of times children have got rugby, cricket, choir, chess. They've got so much extramural things. Now, they've got 9 subjects now. Keep that in mind. So a good exercise to do is that if you do this exercise, is take all the things that happens in their week that's fixed, and then you color code it and you put it in here. So let's say, for instance, on a Monday between 2 o'clock and 3 o'clock, it's choir, for instance. But I want you to book out 1:45 to maybe a 3:15, because they still maybe need to go there and back. Why I want you to do this is fill this in, make choir yellow, cricket green. So all the activities, put them in time slots for the week, and then look what's left, the white spots, because the white spots is then realistically what they have left to do homework. And what about not only homework, we teach our students that comes through our courses every day, the work that the teacher done in the class, you have to learn and summarize it. And I know you're thinking it's impossible. I promise you, Marlies will share with you, it's not impossible. And the students that does this do so well. The past 2 years, some of the students that's been with us with BioLink, every year, when we look at the top 10 students in schools, our BioLink children are all there. And it's great to see it, because all these things were implemented. Okay. But I wanted to do this exercise, especially if they are very busy, because then you have to realize they have to do homework after 6 or 7 or 8. And remember, they need to sleep as well. So I'm not saying stop extramurals. I'm just saying planning is essential. And if your child is already struggling with something, just make a decision on what's important, what not. Or if they can't get to it, then during the week, they need to know I have to catch up, for instance, on a Saturday. Okay. But I want you to do the weekly and the monthly. Talk to them about what you're going to do, and then make them, like I said, part of the process. Okay. Let me just quickly go back here. Sorry, guys. Let me just, oops. Share my screen back. I'm done almost. At least then you can go on.
I'm so nervous now. I'm so happy my child's not in grade 4.
Oh, well, I promise you.
I'm just joking.
It's okay.
It sounds more daunting than it actually is. It's just a lot of information.
It is a lot of information. So I just wanted to quickly jot down, if you want to. This is our email address. Marlies will have hers on her slide as well. But let me tell you, being prepared. So you can really, all you need to do is go watch that video with your child, go through the guides. Don't make it a big thing, because it doesn't have to be a big thing. And then start just implementing some of the things that I talked about. Okay. Let me just quickly here. Do any of you have any questions up to now? Please, guys, you need to. Did I give you something to think about? Let me just quickly get some feedback with regards to this. So it's a few things. Like I said, it's teacher, the subject, so it's not that big of a deal. Okay, do you have, so no one has, you don't have any questions, anyone? Don't know why my thing is saying. Let me just do that. Okay, let me just, okay. Are you guys fine? Okay, so because I asked Marlies to come in, because most of you were saying the learning and what, and especially a lot of think about. Okay, Caroline, I'm happy. Because we know the process. We've been doing this many years. So she's going to quickly show you how we can help you further, even though you are staying wherever you are staying. So she's going to quickly go through, but I want you to listen about what happens to them in grade 4. So I'm going to quickly give you the screen, guys. Just give us a, where do I do that now, Isel?
I think,
can you ask
do I
for
replay most? Let me see.
Yeah,
I'm going to
please.
do that.
Yes.
Am I host?
Okay, there you go. You're host.
I am the host. Okay. Let me just sit a little bit back. And share my screen. All right, so that was now a lot of information that Karen has given to you. Okay, the screen is visible?
Yes.
Karen? Okay.
Yeah.
So, guys, it was a lot of information as I was listening to Karen, you know, telling you what's going to happen. Don't feel overwhelmed because it's a lot of information, and remember baby steps. They are still young. They're still in grade 3, so we've got some time to teach them some skills. Everything is about skills. Everything is about teaching our children skills. So I just want to add quickly with Karen what you said about weekly, those planning and month and week planners and that on their level now. It don't necessarily in grade 3 need to be so much work related. It can be anything. It can be any task that you've given them, because what's the learning at the end of the day? We are learning them responsibility. We are learning them to plan and organize something that I have to do. Respect. So, you know, we have to think a little bit broader than just thinking about academics, what we teach them. Everything is about skills. And unfortunately, none of us were born with any of these skills. So that is why, if I can just add with BioLink, you know, the skills that we learn there, the cognitive executive function skills that we teach them, it forms the core of all learning skills that eventually going to help our kids, you know, do well in life. Right. So let me just go back to learning. Now, this is interesting. God was, I'll ask him when I get to heaven, but I think it's just amazing after 10 years of doing study methods with different grades, usually more from the lower grades, and then also I had some high school children, and in different places. Everybody has got a universal challenge. The kids struggle with the same thing. They feel the same thing. Parents feel the same. It's just amazing how it works. So I want to tell you, and if there's some of you that feels very anxious, I want you to know that you are not alone. Everybody is feeling the same, but we can put things in place to help our kids. And again, the younger we begin with them, the better. Remember, life has changed so much for our kids. I was still in the year where we had geskiedenis and aardrijkskunde and skynat, you know, and huishoudkunde, that subjects. Today it's totally different. They're bringing in subjects from next year on robotics and engineering. They're looking at skills development. So for South Africa, they're already busy in the high school rolling out the pilot programs for that and other subjects that they want to introduce, entrepreneurship, but in arts and culture and everything. So it's so important for us to give our kids the opportunity to have the skills to learn and understand everything that is coming their way. All right, so I've been doing it, like I said, for more than 19 years now. And as I've done it, I've developed the program, and as I've done it so many times, I started seeing what works and what doesn't work for our children. All of them are not the same. We've got kids that likes to be, lots of parents ask me, okay, so are you going to do an assessment to see if they are left brain, right brain? No, I don't believe in that, because not believing in it, but I do believe that we can teach children your brain has the ability to teach the skills. So if you are more organized, you do have the ability to learn to use some form of imagery, making images like that. So, and I've seen it. My daughter's now second year in university, and I can promise you, I've seen it. One technique, she's very left brain, but one technique did not help her through school with all her subjects. So she had to learn different types of techniques to adjust to that, that specific subject. But I don't want to go into that, into deep now with that. But what I want to say is all about skills that we have to teach our kids. Now, all of them, let me just go here. I hope I'm pressing now the right button. Our kids love getting homework. They love it. Have you seen it at home? They just love it. They spend hours doing homework. They can't wait to study for a test or for an exam. It's super fun. They tell it to me. If they come to my study techniques for a whole day on a Saturday, they jump for joy. It's amazing. They hate it. They hate it. But if we teach them how to be smart and how to learn smart and how to be organized, it's not this big mountain that lays before them. Because let's face it, most of the kids don't like to do any studying or homework. And again, I don't want to go into deep because this is what I do in my study method course. We go much more deeper in some of the things that Karen also now talked about, planning, organization, goal setting, and that. We go very deep in there with them. But if we look at our younger kids, and we want to start with them, there is a certain level of skills that we can now start to practice with them that can help them as I want to say, like in athletics, what's it, a go skiet weg, what do you call it, Karen? If they no, not shooting somebody. I mean, like when you're in athletics and they shoot the gun and you can go, I don't know. Excuse me, guys.
Wegspring.
Yeah, but in English. I've
out of the blocks, to get them out of the block. Ready, set, go. Nancy, thank you. We're struggling with English tonight.
Sometimes my English just gets finished. All right, so, but you get the, you guys get the idea. Okay, so they hate it. They don't want to do it because it's difficult and it's not interesting, and some kids love learning and then the most don't love learning at all. And it's always so funny when they go home at the end of the day, it's all smiles because now they feel the stress is relieved because they know what to do. And that's it, because if you know what to do, you feel more organized. All right, so I'm not going to go in there. I want to talk about what we can do for your grade 3s now in helping them prepare for grade 4. All right, so this statement here is not true. Forever. It's proven. Okay. All right, so this is the challenges. There's lots more, but I thought I would put out the challenges that I've seen through all of the years. This is the ones that stands out. So in grade 4, the teachers are passionate and they teach a subject, but the child does not understand most of the time what the teacher are saying. So I reference back to what Karen was saying. They will not put up their hand. They're shy, they're scared, or they are worried that the other kids are going to think they are dumb. That's a fact. So that is a thing that you as a parent have to work on with your child, teaching them that, you know what, if you don't put up your hand, you're not going to get the answer. Most of the kids are scared. So you have a chance to be the hero. It's something that, so that's a skill. You have to teach your child to be brave, to put up their hand. Okay, because I can promise you, they don't know what they have learned in school. You can go, ask them, what did you'll see now next year. So for instance, they've got social, or what's all this new subject that they've got, life skills or whatever. You can ask them, oh, what did you learn in life skills? I can't remember. Something about, they don't have a clue. You can ask them, what did you learn today about photosynthesis? I can't say that word. Photosynthesis. Yeah, something like that. I had some, when I was young, I had, I couldn't say S, speech therapy. It didn't work. I still struggle with the S, but any case, they don't understand. So teachers are not aware that the children don't really understand everything they're saying. And I'm talking about easy words. I'm talking about, if they talk about, let's say farming in South Africa, and we talk about crops, they don't know what it means, but we assume they mean. We talk about the word profit, they don't know what it means. So, you know, it's just, I just want to point it out. They also don't know, or don't, I don't want to make it sound like it's finger pointing, because it's not. But they also don't know that that specific child might not know how to study. And why I know that is throughout the years, I had various teachers, because the moms usually comes with the children when I do the course with them. I had various teachers telling me that, Marlies, you know what, I feel so bad. Because when there was extra time in my class, I said to the kids, okay, start to study. And they didn't know. They didn't know where to begin. And then also, those how the format looks of tests and exams and stuff like that. You know, when I show parents that, they are scared, because you have to understand, and I think, Gordon, maybe is that part that Lani is also doing in that, how to read it. Is that something that's in that video?
Not the text, but it's the work, the how to read in a handbook. Yeah. Well, so okay. The thing is, the point is, it's a simple thing. We assume a child knows how to read it, and they don't.
Yeah. Here I'm talking more about if they do maybe comprehension tests and something like that, for the child doesn't necessarily know what the 1 point next to the question is. They don't know, you know, they don't really understand the Afrikaans word is the vraagwoorde, describe, give 5 facts, define. Yeah, so they struggle with that. Kids don't know that. All right, so just be aware of that. But again, that's something that we also address in our courses. And then parents, you think your child understands what's taught in class, and that's so funny, because, and we see it when we do the practical example, because I do a practical example to show parents that your child actually does not understand what he's reading, so that they can understand. So most of the time they don't understand, guys, what they are reading. And it doesn't matter, like Karen said, how fast you read. If you don't understand, you can tell me back what you're reading. No use. Okay. Then this I see a lot of the time, and sometimes it's funny, because you want to show your child how you studied. And that's not necessarily going to work for your child. So lots of the time, I don't know if somebody here, if there's any accountants in here, that's fine. If all of them, because you've got a certain way how your brain works. And now you've got a child that likes this picture and it's all over and he likes that. And you want to push him in a way how your brain works. And also you making summaries for them. there's this thought process that is actually going into making summaries and thinking about it. And yours is different than your child's. So that's why I say buying, I don't know, there's so many people doing it, good business, because we think we are helping each children. The thought process that went into that person making a summary is not the same as the thought process that might work for your child. So we have to look at that. And then the other thing, lots of the parents said to me, no, they just tell them to go study. Nothing wrong, we all did it. My mom did it, and she thought I knew what I did. I knew what how to study, but I didn't. Did you know what I do? Look there, all of them do it. So I asked them when I began, okay, how do you study? I read. Now remember, most of the time they don't understand what they are reading. So now we have parrots. And then I tell them, do you have wings? No, Daniels, we don't have wings. I said, well, so you can't just read, and try and remember it like that. And they will tell me it's actually very difficult to do that. But it's because they don't have a comprehension or understand what they are doing. And then we've got the writers. They rewrite the books from the beginning till the end. Some of them, each and every word, some of them think they are making summaries, but they are actually just rewriting the book. And after that, they've done that, they want to start to study, and they have wasted a whole lot of time. Right, so that also happens. We've got the readers and the writers, and then we've got the kids that wait for mom. My mom must teach me. So if you feel like pulling out your hair now, if you not want to put in effort and helping our kids to develop this skill, because it's going to become a habit and a normal thinking process, you're going to pull out all your hair, and you'll have to go and buy a wig. We don't want that. You're still too young. Okay, so, but they are very clever because they're waiting for you to come home, because it's easier for them to sit and mom says, okay, Gal, let's go through this subject, and now I'm asking you. Okay, repeat, I'm asking you. Some of them are very clever. It's easier that way, but then you will have to be willing to do that till varsity or wherever they go. You have to do that. So sometimes we need to be a little bit strict. They're going to cry. They might not like us now. We all go it. I go through it with my kid. My child's still on 20. So sometimes she hates me. Sometimes I'm mad at her, but I still love her. So they will still love you. So just this is some of the challenges that we get in grade 4. Then what can we do to help our kids? Because that is where we have to start. This is the basis of teaching them a skill to learn. Now learn every subject, not only learning subjects, but some of the skills are going to help them to do maths, to do languages. I had a high school student that one time told me that he doesn't have any learning subjects. So, of course, I didn't have math in school, but I asked him, what is the rule of Karen, can you remember? It was the
Pythagoras or something.
Pythagoras or something, formula. I don't have a clue what it means, but I know in maths, you need to know the rules in order to do the exercise. And he said no, he doesn't know. So I said, okay, well, you have to learn it. I didn't know the answer. He doesn't know it till today, but it doesn't matter. It's learning subject. So where do we start? So like I said, through all of the years, I have formed a technique that I really know and can guarantee really works to help our kids. The first thing we have to start with is a 4-step formula. What do I have to do when I get home? So I've got homework today, I've got life skills, I have to study this, here's my book, what I have to do. Where do I start? because we don't want the readers, and the writers, and the ones that wait for you. So we have to teach them a four-step way of where to start. So when I ask you a question, what if I tell you that with this formula, I call it a formula, but 4 steps, your child will be able to have a clear understanding. That means comprehension. So he's understanding what he's reading about the subject matter, and your child will be able to identify the keyword. Now, keywords, there's a way to identify keywords. There's a technique to identify a keyword. Most of the time they guess what it is. But there's a way how I teach them the comprehension part and the keyword part, because the keyword is the answer to everything on how they are going to make sense of what they are reading and what they are going to write later on. And that's the first part. That's the crucial, I'll always tell them. Doesn't matter about any memory techniques, writing techniques, anything else. This is the first crucial part of every technique that's out there to help them study. All right, and this is what we can offer our grade 3 kids now, is that step. Because if we get this right, and I usually do this with the grade 3s, and sometimes very early with the grade 4s, to learn them this specific skill. Because if they get this, the other techniques, it just flows. It makes sense. It's very easy. Okay. So we've got a special offer for you, should you want to. Usually this course, like I say, it's very practical. I'm very practical, so we usually ask for this 4-step formula. So we do the comprehension, showing you how to teach your child comprehension, but in the same time, we are going to look at the keyword. Let me just admit, we're going to use teach them how to identify the correct word and put it together so that it makes sense to them. So it will be an hour recording. So it's practical. I've got all the equipment. I've got a thing here where I write, I show you everything. It's as if I'm in front of you. Exactly like I do that. If you are interested in something like this, I'm going to show you now what I'm going to give you. You can, in our chat box, put your name on. Because this is a special offer that we are going to give us for all our advertisements and for people that is here today. And then it will be available. This course will be available from the 16th of September. So it's something that you're going to do with your child, and it's only an hour. And your child sits there with you, but I'm actually teaching you as a parent what to do, because you will still need to guide them. If you do the study method course, the whole one, you'll still need to guide them grade 4, grade 5, maybe grade 6, depending on the child. You can start leaving them and then they are ready to go. But this price will expire on the 26th of September. Then we will go back to the normal price of this hour session that I do. So what I include in this workshop that you can buy, it's this 4-step formula guide. So it's something that you can put also up there for your child to know, okay, when I get home, this is what I need to do. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. There's a little bit of other stuff in between there that I don't necessarily want to discuss at this point in time, because it's a little bit advanced. It fits in with the whole study method course when they are in grade 4. Our goal now is only to help them to identify a keyword and looking at comprehension and getting that right. So we'll give you the guide, and then we will also give you a teaching exercise. So I'm going to take caps, the things that the kids are working on now. I'm going to show you how I go through those steps, exactly what to do. So I'm going to do 3 teaching exercises that you follow with me. And then I'm going to do 3 practical exercises. So I'm going to give you the exercise. You're going to sit with your child and you're going to, what I've taught you now, you're going to do that. And then you will also have the video memorandum. So I'm going to explain, okay, this, and this, to how to look at it, and then also the written memorandum. So this is the starting point of where I start when I do a whole course, is I start there. And then for those of you that are going to make use of this opportunity to do this 4-step course with them. If I go into our study method course, it's very comprehensive, guys. It's quite a lot because it's more in detail. So this is a complete study skills and method. So remember, different things. That study skills is the skills you need to learn. The methods is the ways. So that will be memory techniques, writing techniques, all of those techniques. It's 10 modules and it's about 10 hours of training. If you go through it, it's in a portal. You will always have access to it when you log in. You will download all of the training materials that we have there, but we really cover everything: planning, like Corin has now said, summaries, goals setting. Yes, we can even teach our children to set goals from an early age on them. And then the best part, and so many parents have said to me, Marlies, I can't believe we only did it now because we've done it the wrong way. So what I do is I teach the children how to understand, identify the keyword, and then memorize using memory techniques the work before they even go to make a summary. So the summary part is basically the
last
the revision of what they actually have in their head, because I've taught them different types of memory techniques and they can choose which one works for them. And I've added some techniques that I designed through the years, and it works. It works. I had a teacher, she's the teacher at one of our schools here. I did the course in the beginning. It was in just when the school began. The child was grade 4,
Yeah. She's a grade 7 teacher in one of the local schools here.
Yeah. So I did a piece of CAPS work, what the grade 4s does. And then I think it was in the second term they did the work, and she found Karen, and she said, Karen, I can't believe it. The child actually still remembers it, because there's a different way how we have to teach them to learn. So they will be able, the knowledge is here, and then it's in their book. And then there's little other stuff I teach them as well, you know, how to do listening, note-taking. Everything comes together at the end of the day. A whole process of, this is the 4 steps. When I go to school, I do this. When I get home, I do this. How to create the comprehension, how to do the summaries, how to ask different questions, you know, all of that. So that's the whole one. But we will, if there's people that does the keyword, the 4-step one, we will give you, and you're interested, we will give you information about this one, because that is not, if I do it there, it's already, I'm not going to do it in this one. I hope it makes sense. All right, so that's the offer. And again, Karen, you've got our information. I make it fun. As you can see, I laugh at myself, so I try not to be too boring. So I entertain you, and I'll entertain the child. Okay, that's also guaranteed. So I don't know if there's any questions that any of you have.
Yeah, I've got Nancy.
Yeah.
Oh, is someone talking? Nancy and Michelle, Carlene and Michelle and Nancy and Sepukasi. We will email you guys. I've got your information.
Okay. I just want to make sure, you guys, that the email that you registered with this workshop, is that the email that we can contact you with? Is that because sometimes I know people use a work email or a different one. So if you are interested in this, the 4-step program, I think maybe just to make certain, just put in your email address for us in this chat so that we do have it, and then we will communicate with you via email going forward. Yes, it's going to be in Afrikaans as well, but that's the only 2 languages. I can't speak another language. I'll try, but I can't promise you. Okay. Any other questions, guys?
Okay. All right. Yeah, you've got our emails. Yeah, you've got our emails. Mail us. Telephone numbers. Yeah. And like I said, guys, we're going to email you this recording, everyone that was live, plus all the information. And if there's any questions that you have with regards to the part that I did and Marlies, please just send us an email. And if we've got your number, we'll even call you. But it's important that you don't. And because this happens, like we see this, you are very excited now, and then you do it, and then life happens, and then you forget all about it. This is so important. I promise you. We actually needed testimonials of parents that's gone through this. People will say, you know what, I'm so glad I did this. It changed everything. So you've got an opportunity. They don't know any other way to do it. It's more difficult when they've got an understanding of a way that you learn or teach them.
But it's like a young, small tree, and you are forming.
They don't know there's another way.
Yeah. The older kids, it might be a difficult way to, if they've got already a way that they do it, to change it suddenly because it's difficult. But now we've got an opportunity to teach them how to do something, and that's all they know. Yeah. Right.
Okay, guys, thank you so much. And remember, please, please, please remember, if you have not received an email by 2 o'clock tomorrow, know that something happened, then send me an email so that I can help you out. I want to get this stuff out to you guys as fast as possible. Yeah.
And you're more than welcome to email this, the recording, if you've got other friends as well that you think might benefit. You're really more than welcome to send it to them as well.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Okay, guys, you should have a wonderful evening. It's almost summer. I'm going to go and eat a salad now.
Okay, guys.
Bye.
Have a great evening. Bye.